Hello everybody, welcome back to DapeachTV. Today is Workshop Wednesdays. We're live on Twitch doing this. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, doing how to edit TikToks or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, any type of short form vertical content for your social media. If you're new here, my name is Dapeach and I make videos here on YouTube, on TikTok, and these streams that are live on Twitch, all for you guys, streamers, creators that are already in and on your journey or that you're looking to get started. So consider subscribing for more videos like this, and let's get into it. What I'm going to teach you today is how to set up Davinci Resolve for editing vertical content for TikTok or YouTube Shorts, then how to prepare your clips for editing. Of course, you're going to be making lots of clips, so I'll show you how to batch edit. Then I'll run through my entire editing process and edit my own clip in real time, giving you tips on how to edit for better engagement. Next, I'll show you the right settings to export your final clip, and of course, how to batch export to save you more time. Finally, we cover not just regular subtitles, but subtitles with animation. I also go over adding color if you want the karaoke style effect on your subtitles. This video is a bit longer, but if you're serious about editing, this is the video for you. I give lots of tips along the way, and you can always watch it in 2 times the speed and slow it down when you need to. This video is meant for you to edit along with me, so open up Davinci Resolve and come follow along as I go. If you have any questions, leave comments below, or if you're here in Twitch chat, type in the chat and I'll answer your question as best I can, okay? So this is what my Davinci Resolve looks like. Yours setup might look a little bit different, but you can change that. You could move things around to have it look like mine. Up here, there's this little inspector thing that'll pop up once we start clicking on videos. Also, I'm using Davinci Resolve 16 with, this girl looks like Gal Gadot over here. So if you have a newer version or older version, it might look the same, it might look a little bit different, I don't know, but I'm using 16. So once you open up a new timeline or new project, you might have it set up so it's like more of a long form video. You got to go down here where the little cog is and click on project settings. Under timeline resolution, maybe yours is going to be set to this 1920 by 1080 HD. You need to switch it. Just flip the numbers to 1080 to 1920. Okay. What I'd recommend as well is when you're setting up your master settings, go ahead and change your playback frame rate. If you're streaming or recording, it actually matters more if you're recording in 60 frames per second, use 60 here. If you're using clips that you're downloading directly from Twitch clips are 30 frames per second. The other settings are not really that important. Maybe one day we'll make a video on the settings behind Davinci Resolve. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you can come down here into your browser, your Explorer browser, and you find the clip that you downloaded or that you recorded. Let's rename it to something that actually makes sense. So you could drag it directly to your media pool, or you could drag it directly down here into your timeline. If it's a bigger file, like a 3-hour Twitch VOD, it's gonna lag a little bit to put it into your timeline directly. So you can just put it into your media pool. What I like to do is I actually don't love working like right on the edge here. Sometimes I like to move things around a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll zoom in. You can use this minus or plus to zoom in onto your timeline. What I do instead is I hold Alt key on PC and I just scroll in and scroll out. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to scroll in onto this red, let's call it a seeker bar. So wherever it is, even if your mouse is over here, if I scroll in, it's going to always scroll in on the red bar. Okay, so be aware of that. We got our video edit here. We got our audio edit down here. And these things are separated at the same time. They're kind of linked. If we look up here, what's important is there's this magnet, which we'll talk about, called snapping or linked selection. So if this is on, if it's highlighted, when you click one of these boxes, this video or this audio track, it's going to grab both of them because they're linked. If you remove that, then you can start moving things around. So obviously we're in a TikTok here, and this doesn't really look the way we want it. I mean, if you really want to show something off specific, maybe you're going to be more of this horizontal look, but you probably want more of that typical background is a little bit blurry. We're a little bit zoomed in, and then you got your camera that's cropped and right at the top there. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing I do is I'll unlink. You don't have to drag in multiple clips and like layer them like that. You don't have to do that. Just hold Alt and just drag and drop. It will just create a second copy, an instance of that. Okay, what we'll do is we'll actually create 3 of them. If you had it linked, you're just going to create multiple copies and have multiple audio files. So then when you play it back, you're going to hear really weird like echoing. Okay, so you could do that and then just delete the audios. That's totally fine. Whatever's up to you. Each video track is like a different layer. So this one is on top of this one, which is on top of this one. It works kind of exactly like a OBS. Let's just move these out of the way for now so we know what we're working with. This one I'm going to zoom in by quite a bit. So it's just going to fill out the space so that when we put this video on top, sometimes when the position is at 0, 0, you're going to get these, it's going to be like blocking it when it shouldn't block it. you just got to move this around a little bit by like -1 even if you want to, and then it'll show up there. If you want to show the entire video but still have that background, you can do it, but just got to move the position by up or down by like a -1. So if I play it, let me mute this. We don't really need the audio. Then it's good. So we got this down, right? We have the background and then we have the main clip. The problem is the background is still in sharp quality. So what you can do is go up here to effects library and look at open effects. You get this one called Gaussian blur, and just drag and drop it onto this one. And you only have to do this once. Like I said, we're creating a template right now. And later on, I'll show you how to copy all the settings over. So now that it's set up, you got your inspector open here. This inspector adjusts all kinds of things, right? You want to zoom in here. You want to change the position of stuff, left, right, up, down. This is the inspector. You want to crop some of the left off, some of the bottom off, whatever it is, it's all done here in the inspector. Okay, so once you add that video effect, I'll go into the open FX and you'll see the Gaussian blur. Okay, so what I like to do is I'll just layer the original one on top, and now you can mess with how blurry this background is. Look at this. You can make it super blurry. Really up to you. Generally, like a 0.6 or 0.7 will be enough, and these are locked. So once you change the horizontal strength, it'll change the vertical strength. Okay, and then this border type, I don't know if you could tell on here because there's a gray background here, but there's like this weird black border. You can just do like a replicate and it'll clean that up, or a reflect. They look the exact same here in this instance. Okay, so they look different for you, then just choose the one that you like. Okay, so now we got a nice blurry background, and we got the nice clean clip in the middle. But obviously I think that this clip is too small. We're gonna go up to the second layer here to track 2, and let's go into the inspector. We'll zoom in, and we want to cut our video out, our camera out, because we're going to add our cam back in later. As you zoom, it's going to zoom in on the center point right here. You can actually use this if you want to transform to click and drag, so you don't have to play with like one dimension at a time, just moving X and Y one at a time. You could just click on this box and then move it how you like it. And you can even mess with the zoom like that too. I'm just comfortable with this, so I feel like it's a little bit more precise here. Okay, so let's zoom in to about like a 2.5. Where would we like to be? I think 2.5 to like 2.75 is probably going to be where the range that you want. You might want to go a little bit less than 2.5, maybe closer to like a 2 if there's a lot of the stuff on the screen that you want to be showing. If there's something that's more right in the middle, or a specific section of the screen, maybe it's on the right side or the left side, whatever, maybe that's where you're going to want to zoom in a little bit more to show something that's going on in the background, right? But I definitely want to cut off at least my cam. We can get rid of that. And as soon as I cut out my cam, I'm at around 1.5. I personally find that this is still way too small. Also in this clip, we're trying to look at this green Pokemon over here named Bellybolt. I think that somewhere in the 2 to the 2.75 range is best. The reason why I'm not saying go more than a 2.75 is because the quality is going to be really low. And once you're at 3, well, then there was no point in even doing that blurry background thing on video track 1 anyways. So, because you're so zoomed in, it takes up the entire thing. Let's go to 2.8 for clean numbers, okay? And keep in mind too that if you're posting this on YouTube, there's going to be, as a YouTube short, there's going to be some text here at the bottom, and there's going to be the like and comment and share buttons on the right side. And same for TikTok. You might want to test it and see that your text is showing up within the blur. And I actually like it when my text shows up in the blur because it's easier for people to read, especially if I want them to read the caption. All right, so the final clip, what we need to do is that we actually need to get our little camera and we want to show it up here, right? How do we do this? How do we do this? There's a couple ways that we could do this. You could go super crop mode and just crop this down completely, you know, like this, and then go back to transform and like zoom, and you can see it's starting to do some really weird stuff here. You could do this, like this is like the very basic, simple, easy way. But if you crop, you can only go square. Okay, I'm just gonna Control Z and undo all this. We should do, or what we could do, is you go down here into this thing called Fusion. It's gonna take a second to load. Fusion, and the way that a Fusion works as well, be careful, it's gonna always take the highest layer in your timeline. So let's go back to Fusion, let's go take that. And what we're gonna wanna do is, here you got your square that you can add, a little rectangle, or you can add your circle. Okay, so let's say you don't like the rectangle and you want the circle. So what I do is I just grab this blue triangle, you guys can see that, and tag it to the ellipse or circle. Okay, now that it's tied up, you can grab this little circle-y thingy and let's go bring it in close onto our face. So again, circle, square, whatever you want. This is your call, right? Your design choice. Okay, so now we got a small little circle face in here. Now we can blow this up, zoom this in, and move this around and try to find a center that makes sense for us. And boom, okay, this is now officially set up. So now if I run the clip, pause the music. This is a Psyduck. Oh, it's a belly bolt. That's the new Pokemon, right? Boom. So you have your video, you got the background that's blurry, you have the main clip, that's the main scene, and then you got your camera that's cut. It's super simple. It's super simple. If you guys have questions, let me know. If I'm going too fast on something, let me know. If you don't like the way this looks, you could zoom in, you could zoom out. Personally, what I don't love about the circle is that it's hard to like add your Twitch link or your channel link. And what I like to do instead is in Fusion, I actually use the rectangle instead. You could just replace that here. If you want to zoom in here, because it's kind of hard to work, hold Control and then use your mouse to scroll in. And if you click middle mouse button and drag around, then you can move things and see things a little bit better. So this is called a rectangle, but you can make it a square. Do what you want. Let's go make a nice square, and I'll show you why I like the square a little bit better. The square looks a little bit too blocky, I find. So you can actually go in here, and where is it? Oh yeah, it's called corner radius. This one here in the inspector under tools, corner radius. You could just adjust this to something a little bit more smooth edges. That looks so much, I don't know, it just looks cleaner. Somewhere between a circle and a square. So we got that, that looks good. I think what helps for gaming stuff is to add like the text of your channel, so that it's always on the screen. It's kind of like it's a stamp to say, look, this is where it's from. It's from Twitch. You know, I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm not a TikTok only creator or YouTube only creator. I'm also on Twitch, and this clip came from Twitch, right? It's a good way to do that without having to write in the caption, like, come follow me on Twitch or whatever it is, which I don't suggest doing anyways. What I did was I went into the effects library on titles and text. You can go in here, grab a font that you like, whatever it is. Let's take Impact. That looks cool to me. And just do something like twitch.tv/DapeachTV. You change the size here. I'm just clicking and sliding left and right to adjust this. Go under video. I don't know why text has a video, but anyway. And again, there's two different ways to do this. You can go here in the inspector under transform and play with the Y, X and Y values until it lines up. Or you can click the little transform box here and then move it around as you see fit. Up to you. I think that fits a little bit better. Let's scroll in here and just make sure that sits nicely and looks good. Okay, so you can do something like this. What I've done in the past, I went and got a Twitch image. So I have a folder of all the logos I need. You guys can do this too if you want. And what you can do as well is in your editor, highly suggest this. You can click anywhere and click add bin. Bin is essentially a folder. So you can go in here and type in logos. Once you go inside of the folder, you just come back to master. So drag and drop your logo that you need, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, whatever. And what we'll do is let's drag and drop it onto our timeline instead. This is what I've always done. I always liked it better. I always found that it looked a lot better too. Make sure that you select that track. Let's just zoom this down and let's move it up here instead. Okay. So we can go back into twitch.tv/DapeachTV. Let's just change it to /DapeachTV. And now you can put the Twitch logo. Doesn't that look so much better? You know, less text, the simpler it is, the easier it is to see. I don't know. For me, it just makes more sense, man. And to be honest, most people know what Twitch is. And if they don't, then they're going to ask in the comments, man. Or they're going to go to your bio and see your website link. And it's all going to make sense for them. Something like this, guys. You get the picture. I don't have to make it so perfect. So now we have the basis for what is our video. Make sure that you take this picture and text, highlight them both, and just drag them to the end of your clip. So that way, when you're running through, then it's always there. Beautiful. What else can I show you? Okay, so here's some tips and tricks. Number one, this logo and text is something that doesn't need to be chopped up and cut up. Okay, one, because we didn't do any of the edit yet, right? This is stuff that you'd want to add at the end once your edit is done. And the reason why I like doing it at the end is it also lets me know, if you see this, there's going to be two numbers that pop up here in a little black box. There's going to be the white numbers, and that tells you if it's plus or minus how many seconds that you're cutting it down by, decreasing or increasing it by. And then there's the gray numbers, which tells you the total length of that clip or video track. So if you take a 2-minute TikTok video and you want to cut it down to something in the 10, 15, 20-second range, now you kind of have an idea of how long your clip is, right? If you're trying to keep it short, keep it long, within a certain time frame, you have that here. So let's say this is our edited TikTok. Okay, let's say it's edited, it's ready to go, we posted it, we're done. Now we want to start editing another one. You can come in here, drag and drop in your new clip. Okay, so this is the batching part of the video. Drag in your new clip, and all you have to do, unlink up here, hold Alt on your keyboard and drag upwards until you get your 3 videos. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start copying the settings over from one track to the next. Okay, so on track 1, do Control C, and on also track 1, but on the next clip, you do Alt V, not Control V, because Control V is actually gonna just paste this original clip, which that's not what we want. So Control C, but Alt V. And then in here, you wanna transfer over all video attributes. And what that'll do is it will change everything. So this one had our Gaussian blur background, and now this one does too. So you just got to do that for each one. Control C, Alt V, Control C, and Alt V, and boom. Now it's exactly copied, just like the other one. Problem is that we're missing that Fusion tab. Okay. So what I do is I move this out of the way, because remember the top clip, the highest track that is being shown by the selector is the one that shows up in Fusion. So I just go up here, go to Fusion. And what I do is I just copy this rectangle. I just click and drag, Control C, select here over the new clip that you're taking, go back into Fusion and just Control V, paste it. And it pastes the exact same rectangle. If your cam was in the same exact position from clip to clip, then you won't have to edit anything. You won't have to change anything, which is genius, right? And that's what I try to do in my OBS is I lock down my camera for my gaming clips. And so everything is in one spot, so I can just mass batch edit as fast as I want to. And I don't have to start messing around. So people that are moving your cameras around all the time for different games and all that stuff, you're gonna have to mess with the location of that little rectangle inside of Fusion. Okay, so just a heads up for that. So now it's good. Now it's ready to go. And now you can take this, and now this you can do a hold Alt and click and drag over, or you can do Control C, Control V. Boom. So now we have 2 TikToks. Well, the next TikTok, I guess, is ready. And that's your template, okay? So let's get rid of that. And let's just go to the editing, and I'll show you guys what to do here. So like I said, I like to move this out of the way and just focus on the actual edit itself. So usually I like to watch the clip to understand what's going on. You have a volume mixer here. I've been clicking this a couple of times. You can lower your own volume. This is just monitoring volume for your headphones. This is not actually gonna change the volume of the clip, okay? This is just if it's too loud for you in that specific moment. I do find that Davinci Resolve is very loud in general. And even when I export things and put them out onto YouTube or TikTok, I found that the volume is way, way, way lower. So that's something to keep in mind too, is be careful of that. That's the new Pokemon, right? Let's catch him. He's right here. Oh, what? Why is it? Oh my God, he was inside him. Oh my God, Psyduck, why were you inside Bellybolt? That's just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude. Oh my God, what is going on? All right, so that's the full clip, 20 seconds or so. So let's go in and clean that up a little bit and make it a little bit better. So first thing I do is I actually drag and drop and select all of the tracks that we have here, and I make sure to link the clips. The reason I link the clips is after, when I want to start cutting things up, it cuts everything as if it's all now one video. The other way that you can do this too is you can create a compound clip. And a compound clip, let's just call it Pokemon compound clip. It'll condense everything into one track and into one audio. The reason why I don't love this is, let's say if I want to zoom in on this, it zooms in on the entire thing. So we don't really want that, right? We kind of always want the cam in the same spot or whatever it might be. We can't edit anything anymore individually. It's kind of locked down. So I rarely use compound clips unless I'm sure that I'm done with the edit, right? But we're not there, so let's not do that. So make sure you link everything up, okay? And now we're gonna start using this called the blade tool, the blade mode, okay? And I use my keyboard a lot when I'm using Davinci Resolve. A brings me to selection mode so I can click and drag and move things around. And the blade tool, you guess, is gonna start cutting things up. So you can see there's a red line here where my blade is, okay? And you can see that it's on the top track, on track 3. And that's because I'm not linked up. As soon as I link up, you can see that if I cut this, it's gonna cut everything down the line, everything that's been linked. So that's what you want. That's your secret to the edit. How do I move in the timeline? Maybe that's something else that we should talk about, how to move in the timeline. So like I said, if you hold Alt and scroll in, scroll out, you're gonna get more zoomed in or more zoomed out if you scroll out or scroll down. I click with my middle mouse button or the scroll wheel and I drag around to move the timeline side to side. That's it. That's pretty much it. So my fingers are usually on Alt, A, and then B for the blade. That's it. And you can actually use L. L is a keybind. There's J, K, and L. L goes forward and K pauses it. So it's kind of like these 3 buttons. I think if you hover over this, it'll tell you it's J, K, and L. No, it's not going to hover today. That's fine. So J goes backwards. Okay, and then L goes forward. And what you could do is if you're skimming through a lot of video content, you can actually watch it in double the speed. That's a new Pokemon, right? Let's catch it. What? Why is it? Oh my God. That way you could just listen back, watch back things at a fast speed if you're trying to really cut down a big VOD and you don't want to sit there watching through your 2-hour stream, right? You just watch it, double tap L. What I find weird too is that when you come back to watching it at regular speed, it sounds so slow. If you notice that too, let me know. Or maybe it's just me, it's weird. Keep in mind when you're editing for TikTok, you want them to be quick cuts, short and sweet, no airtime. That's really up to you. If that's your style, that's cool. But generally you want to keep out a lot of fluff, a lot of airtime, a lot of time where there's no talking or no action. You want to have people's attention for the most part, right? Because it's very easy to scroll past on a TikTok or on a YouTube short. All right, so when I start this clip, I'm trying to look for like, I mean, at this point, you wouldn't be editing a clip if you didn't find it valuable or useful or funny or informative or have some sort of value for your community, right? But even once you're in here, you want to be thinking about, okay, what's the first 3 seconds of this video? The first 3 seconds is what hooks people in and lets them keep watching to find out what's going on. And you can help keep people's attention with some text on the screen and things like that. And we can add that after, right? But the main meat of the video, what is keeping people's attention? Why should I care about watching the rest of this video, right? That's what you want to ask yourself. Why would anyone care to continue watching this video? All right, so asking about like, is this a side duck when the whole video is about the belly bolt? I feel like we should cut that part out. So I find that that's not really important, but what I do like is the, oh, it's a belly bolt. Oh, it's a belly bolt. That part is cool because I mean, it's not that surprising or exciting, but it does add that element of surprise. If we start the video here, oh, it's a belly bolt versus it's a belly bolt. Like this, oh, it's a belly bolt kind of, to me, it's kind of bringing people along for the ride to say like, oh, it's this type of Pokemon, like let's go explore it together. Whereas if I'm making a statement, it's a belly bolt, saying like it's a belly bolt, I find more I'm like showing or teaching. So let's get rid of this. So this is kind of the magic of editing, right? Like I actually said this is a side duck, oh, but now we could change it to say, oh, it's a belly bolt. So what I do is I always look at my audio and let's zoom in here a little bit. And you can see these little blips. This is a side duck, oh. So right there is when I said, oh, so it's all this. Oh, so what I do is I find this blank section, this quiet section. And if you see here in the audio, I don't know why it does this. I think the audio gets chopped up a little finer than the video frames. But you see that the line is no longer lined up until I go up here in the video. It's kind of a weird thing. So you gotta choose your battle sometimes. Here's a trick. You can delete this with backspace and get rid of that moment. Or what you could do is you can hold shift and backspace. And what that does is it moves everything over. So let's say we didn't even want the O at all. We want to delete the O. I could just click this and hold shift, backspace, and it closes the gap. And now we have, this is a side duck, it's a belly bolt. This, right? That's just an example, but just to show you, you can keep your timeline nice and clean without having to blade cut it, delete it, and then drag everything over, which is tedious, right? That doesn't make sense. Look, you can even visualize all the air gap, all the air time, right? Let's get rid of all this. So, oh, it's a belly bolt, and I'm cutting it right at the audio, right when the audio starts, right when the audio ends. And let's just hear what that sounds like. Oh, it's a belly bolt. Oh, it's a belly bolt. Okay, so it's a little bit choppy, right? So that's something you want to test out and try out. Let's leave a little bit more breathing room here and see what that sounds like. Oh, it's a belly bolt. All right, this sounds a little bit better. All right, so there's a lot of airtime here, bolt. Especially for a TikTok. Right? So we can cut this airtime too. That's a new Pokemon, right? Belly bolt. All right, so if you take a look at the audio, it might be hard for you to see if you're watching this on your phone, but there's a small little blip right here in the audio. And that's where I say bolt with the T at the end. Bolt. So we need to keep that. We actually do need to keep that. If I cut that here, I'm just gonna say it's a belly bolt. Belly bolt. And you won't hear the T. So unfortunately, we need to keep that in. So there's a little bit more of extra space that we need, but that's fine. That's a new Pokemon, right? All right, so we cut out this dead space, and now what do we got? Bolt. That's a new Pokemon, right? Boom. Okay, look at all this dead space. Let's cut. It's an entire second almost. So let's cut this out as well. That's a new Pokemon, right? Let's catch him. He's right here. Oh. Okay, so here, this entire section here of what is this, like 3 seconds? I'm like completely confused. Let's catch him. He's right here. Oh, what? Why is it? So why? Remember, this clip was me being confused and laughing at the fact that Psyduck was stuck inside of Belly Bolt, and we kind of want to show that off, right? We don't want to lose that as part of the edit. We have to be showing a little bit of that confusion to the viewer to take them on for the ride of how it's also confusing and funny for them, right? Otherwise, they won't get it. We get it. But we have to make it clear that they get it while still editing it and make it interesting and entertaining. Let's start this from the beginning. Oh, it's a Belly Bolt. That's a new Pokemon, right? Let's catch him. He's right here. Oh, what? So see here how it says Belly Bolt on the screen. We can see it says Belly Bolt, but as we move forward, we see it says Psyduck. He's right here. Oh, so we could actually take advantage of that and make like a quick edit with that to show how that's weird or that's funny or whatever. What? Let's zoom in on that, the fact that it says Psyduck. So the top clip, I can disable it by pressing D on the keyboard. I disabled my camera, so that's not the clip we want. We want the second track. Okay, so we're gonna go here into the inspector and zoom in. I'm gonna really zoom in. And here at this point, the quality doesn't matter as much because people are already into the video for a few seconds. We don't need to really catch their eye with that incredible quality. Okay, but at first, I find in the first few seconds, if the quality is really bad, people might skip it because it's hard to really see. But when they see that this is like a zoom in, then it kind of changes things. So let's watch it from the scene before. That's a new Pokemon, right? Let's catch him. He's right here. There we go. So it zooms in. It says Psyduck. What? Why is Personally, here I would like to add a freeze frame, to be honest, and then, you know, put some question marks or something to say like, wait, why does it say Psyduck if this is supposed to be Belly Bolt? You know. So definitely all of this dead space. Let's cut this out. We definitely don't need that. But this what? Why is it? Oh my God. So I even say why is it? Oh my God. So we can even cut out the first why is it, and keep the what in there. Right here. Oh, what? Why is it? Oh my God, he was inside him. Here again, we got some more airtime. Let's cut some of that out. We learned our lesson before, not going too close. I'll go too close to the sun. Once we get to this point in the clip, I find that my cam now starts to block things because my character is like running around, moving around a little bit. That's just weird. So we need to kind of pick what's the focal point so people aren't confused. We can either move this clip down a little bit. If I unlink and click here, we can move this down so people can look at the Psyduck. Why were you inside Belly Bolt? That's just weird, bro. That's just weird. Or we could zoom in and kind of bring it up to me or my little character dude and watch as he kind of runs around. Belly Bolt. That's just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude. And freaks out, right? So this is up to your creative discretion, I guess is the right word, to decide what you want to do with it. Let's just bring this back to before. You can do Control C on the last clip and then Alt V like I showed you before, just to bring things back to standard. So okay, so I start spinning my little character right around here. It's weird, bro. I say it's weird. I'm hitting spacebar, by the way, to play this. I don't know if I said that, but I use my little timeline selector and then I hit space. All right, so I think somewhere around here maybe is where I want to start zooming in on the character to show him like freaking out and spinning around. So maybe here, zoom in on the little Belly Bolt and Psyduck. So let's lower this. And then you'll see the clip here, how it moves. So now we're on the second one. Let's move this over and zoom in on our guy. Something like this. Just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude. The other thing that you could do too is you can mess with your own camera as well. Sometimes I find that helps too, to just accentuate, and maybe that'll be even a better effect. Let's just set this back to normal, and let's do, what if we do the cam? Okay, the thing is, if you mess with your cam a little bit and you did the trick that I told you with the Twitch text underneath and with the logo, then you're gonna also have to mess with that. Okay, so That's something you're gonna have to be aware of. You could compound that all together. That actually might be a good idea, is to take this, the Twitch logo and your text and your video, and compound it. That way, when you zoom in and zoom out, it'll all stick together. That could be a good idea. All right, let's compound this together. Yeah, just call it compound clip 1. That's fine. And then this, we can go over here like this. Okay, so we always have the text on the screen. Nothing looks different. Oh, wait, we need to link everything together again. We messed up. So now we can unlink, go in here, and now when I zoom this in, there you go. All your text stays the same, and it stays in line. Everything makes sense. This is really ridiculously obnoxiously big. So let's just clean that up. Something like this.
Psyduck, why were you inside Belly Bolt? That's just weird, bro.
All right, so the just part actually, yeah, I feel like I'm not getting any emphasis on it. I feel like it should start on the weird. Let me undo this. So editing, you know, when we're editing for like actual content and value and entertainment, you know, there's some creativity part of it. It's an art, right? It's not a science. So you got to mess with it until you find the thing that that fits what you're looking for. Okay, so make sure your selector is hovered over so you can see it up here in the monitor. If you have it over here and you start editing this, you're not going to see anything. Okay, so let's zoom in. Whoops, you don't want to be linked on everything, only on this. How I saw that is when all of this was selected, look at this. When you zoom in, you see these dots, like the line, dash. That means it's selecting multiple clips. And if you increase this, it's going to say a plus sign or a minus sign, and it zooms everything in the clip in by that amount. Almost did like a parallax effect there. That was kind of cool. All right, so let's just zoom in on the on the video, or on the camera, I should say, and let's see what that sounds like and looks like. If you want to see this more in a full screen, you could just click fit, and then as you move this up and down, it'll change for you. Okay. The other thing, if you want to see it in full screen, you could press P, and P will bring it in a more of a full screen thing. The reason why I don't always go in full screen is because, you know, TikTok isn't like this size. When I'm looking at it on my monitor here, like you'll see it differently because you're watching this maybe on your phone. Or on YouTube, it's going to be a little bit different even in the browser. But for me, I'm going full screen on my, what is this, 27-inch monitor. So it's huge, right? This is not a normal size of a YouTube short. So it's kind of like the proportions throw me off. So I like watching it still here in the monitor. But if you want to get rid of all the noise, you could just hit P and watch it like this. Hit spacebar. Weird, bro. And then you're good. Okay, so I feel like that fits the funny comedic effect a little bit better.
Oh my God, Psyduck, why were you inside Belly Bolt? That's just weird, bro.
All right, so because we went zoomed in on the weird, I feel like we should do it again on the second weird. Just to go with the flow.
Weird, dude.
And let's cut it here. And what we could do is when we first zoomed in, we can copy those settings with Control C and then go to the next compound clip and Alt V. Select all video attributes, and boom, it's gonna auto zoom in. So let's watch this.
Weird, bro. That's just weird, dude.
Something like that, right? You know, this might not be the greatest TikTok clip of all time, but that's not the point. You guys get where we're going. All right, and the rest of the clip is just me laughing, and there's a lot of airtime. So personally, I would just cut all of this off and just let it finish with
what is going on.
With what is going on. If anything, I might even cut it sooner.
God, what is going? Oh my God.
Maybe I would even cut it here. Oh my God, right? So with TikTok, with YouTube Shorts, guys, at the end of the day, watch time is the most important metric. So if you want to support your favorite creators, make sure to watch their videos all the way through, or at least watch them even twice, just to get that watch time in there. So if you know that metric is what is important, then you want to cut as much fluff out of your video. Right? Keep only what's important, what's critical, what's funny, what's whatever value that you're trying to provide. If it's just you sitting there laughing for 10 minutes, maybe just 30 seconds of your laugh is good enough, you know?
Oh my God.
Maybe even the, oh my God, right? You got to be critical. You got to be critical with your video because the algorithm is critical with you. All right, let's watch this again. Let's just watch it from the beginning, maybe just to get the full experience and see what we're getting here from this.
Oh, it's a Belly Bolt. That's a new Pokemon, right? Let's catch him. He's right here. Oh, what? Why is it? Oh my God, he was inside him. Oh my God, Psyduck, why were you inside Belly Bolt? That's just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude. Oh my God.
So I think that the oh my God is actually a bit too much. Dude. I don't even think it's needed. So we can cut off right after I say that's weird, dude.
That's just weird, dude.
And I would cut it right at the edge of the audio, the way that we said before that we didn't like it, how it cut off. With shorts, you don't need to give more than you need to, right? So
that's just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude.
And that's the clip. Okay, that's the clip. Poggers. So let me give you guys some tips and tricks of things that I do to help myself, you know, kind of watch this back. So what you can do is when you're in the regular timeline in the edit screen, okay, you can press I on your keyboard, and this is going to start your in point. That's what it is. I and O is in point. And then you guessed it, you can go to your end and hit O, and that's your out point. Okay, and you'll see that it actually doesn't line up. You got to grab this little thingy and bring it in. I don't know why it does this. I've been talking to people online, and does this to everybody. It just probably has to do something with the frames per second and all that. Okay, if you do Alt I, it opens up your in marker to the beginning. Alt O is the same, it just removes it. So now that you have this, what you could do is you click this button here that's like the looping button, and if you press play, what'll happen,
that's just weird, bro. That's just weird, dude,
is it's not gonna loop. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you loop? It's so annoying. You thought it would loop, right, guys? No, it's not easy. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to press Alt L.
Why were you inside belly?
And what is the keybind? Anyway, the point I'm trying to show is that if it's a TikTok that's gonna cycle over and over again and repeat itself, you wanna kind of show that here. We have the video, we have the blurry background, we have our text, we have the camera, and we have everything all edited. Let's say this is the video that you like, all right? You're happy with it, you're good to go. What I do is I always make sure I have the magnet turned on for this part. You're gonna go to export. Okay, let's say, again, this is the TikTok you want. And you're good to go. So if you start rendering this right now, it's gonna start rendering everything that's selected. If you look at this white line, this is your kind of selection or marked area of the timeline that it's gonna render. Okay, so what you can do is mark this with I and go to the end here and mark it with O. So now it's only going to render these 20, 25 seconds, whatever it is. Okay, and what I recommend too is that if you have any audio or video, any tracks that are beyond this section, make sure to zoom in all the way, because you're gonna have this extra tail of black, and if you're looking to do like a clean loop in TikTok or something, then you wanna scale this back and clean it up. Okay, so that's your out point, and if you really want to be sure, you could zoom in here to make sure that it's good, so that there's no black on the at the front portion. Okay, you can even hit spacebar here to make sure that this is what you want. You can come into here, you can go to custom export settings up here. Okay, so I moved my cam down a little bit just to show you guys some of these settings. So here, this is obviously the name of your file and where you're gonna save it to. So I'll just label it as TikTok. Let's call it funny Pokemon clip. Okay, just for now. So here in format, what you want is, so you want as an MP4 format, codec H.264. You wanna make sure that that resolution, that the same that we had in our monitor and in our timeline from the beginning of the video is the same. So 1080 by 1920, frame rate of 30. And for quality, what I like to do is I do restrict to 20,000 kilobits per second. If you go any higher, then how do I say this? The file size of the video is going to be so high, but the quality is going to be the same. So there's not really much point in going higher than 20,000 in my opinion. Okay, so you can just copy these settings, automatic keyframes and frame reordering. I think that's all standard. In your audio, you probably don't need to change any of this stuff. So you can leave that as standard, okay? And once you've set all these settings up, what you can do is click these three dots here in the render settings, click save as new preset, and you just call it like TikTok or shorts, whatever you wanna do it, or short form, something like that. And then you can save your settings for your long form video and call it long form. So I got a couple of templates here. I got TikTok, I got YouTube, and I was messing around with trying to do transparent video. I got my TikTok and my YouTube 1080p 60. Okay. So then once you come in here into your render, you don't have to mess with any of these settings ever again. You just click on the drop down, or if it's the first one, click on TikTok and it auto resets. And what's cool about it setting is your file name. So you can say something like TikTok for DapeachTV, and maybe you want the date, right? You can actually save this as part of your preset. You can say update current preset, and then that way, when you click on TikTok, it always adds your file name. So you just come in here and write Pokemon clip, and boom, Now, when you save it or render it out and export it, it's saved as that file name, right? So it's just some organization tips if you guys need that. So once you're ready, you got to click down here, add to render queue. It's going to pop it up in the queue. Okay. So let's say you made 2 TikToks. Okay, so let's go back to our edit screen. You made your first TikTok. Let's say this is your second one. Okay, we didn't edit it. It's the same exact thing just for this example. We'll go back to the export screen. I'll do my in and out points again. Let's just clean that up. It's actually good because I have no video files after this. So it cuts it right at the last frame. Come in here, TikTok, let's call it Pokemon clip 2. You could say add to render queue. All right, now what you can do is you can actually click start render and it will render both of your clips at the same time. So if you have 2 long form videos, 2 streams, 2 whatever it is, and you want to just set all the renders and then go to sleep and let your computer do the work, you can do that. Okay, the thing that you need to be careful though, is that if you just click start render, it's only going to render one of them, your first job, or the most recent job that you added if it's selected. What you have to do, I learned this the hard way several times, click and drag both of the jobs or all of the jobs and then click on start render. I'll click it here just to show you guys how fast it could be on my computer. This is a 20 or less than 20-second clip and it's rendered in less than 10 seconds. Okay, very quick. It'll even tell you completed in 8 seconds. Boom. So 2 clips around the less than 20 and 25 seconds for the second clip, done in around 20 seconds. Okay, so around half the time. That's pretty good. So now these are saved where you save them, and you can upload them directly to YouTube. You can directly upload them to TikTok through the TikTok website if you want to use that. Or what I do is I actually upload it to Google Drive, and then I go on my phone, download it from Google Drive, and then I upload it to TikTok. If you guys want to edit a just chatting clip, it's going to be the exact same thing, but you actually don't need your cam, right? Because your camera is you in the middle of the screen anyway. This middle clip, that is actually going to be your face. So you don't even need to put this third track on there. Very straightforward, very simple. And then the text with the Twitch logo, you can drag that and you can move that to wherever you want. We'd probably have to compound this. Let's compound this. And then now, yeah, we can move this around wherever you want. You want to put it at the top and the bottom, under your face, below your face, wherever it is. It's even easier, right, to do it this way. Final thing, do we want to talk about subtitles? If you want to do subtitling yourself, what's the thing with subtitles? So these days with TikTok, they actually have auto captions for you, and you can actually edit those subtitles to make them look better. They have different fonts, and you can change the size of it now. It's not just stuck behind that like black smoky transparency box. You can actually change it. I actually like using the captions feature now inside of TikTok, and you can edit all the words. So if it's not picking up on the right words, you can just change that. The other thing with captions on TikTok is that it actually analyzes everything that you say, and it almost uses that as like hashtags. So if people are searching for something in TikTok, TikTok will pick up on all the words that you're saying through your captions, and it will help the search find you. I find that if you're only posting on TikTok, you don't even need to do the subtitles here in the Davinci Resolve or in the editor. Let TikTok do it because it actually helps you with discoverability, right? Why not? But when it comes to YouTube Shorts, they don't have a subtitle feature yet. So I would recommend doing it in the edit, okay? It's not that complicated. I would just add another line of text in here. Let's take the one that says /DapeachTV. What do I say?
It's a belly bolt.
So I say, oh, it's a belly bolt. Okay, we can go to video here. We can lower this. Again, creative, we're all gonna have our own creative style, creative differences, creative, whatever it is, right? You're gonna wanna find the right spot to put it. You want it right at the top, kind of near your face. You want it down here in the middle of the screen. I don't know if we want it in the middle. Maybe somewhere towards the bottom could be cool. Again, it's really up to you, okay? I misspelled that, a belly bolt. All right, and now what's cool about doing the edit of the subtitles in the editor is that you have full control of which words, how many words, and how fast they appear on the screen. If you just want to say, oh, and then the next one is, it's a belly bolt, like you can do that, right? Whereas the TikTok subtitles can't really control that. And you only have one color. So if you've seen those people do like, it's kind of like karaoke where the color will change as the person is talking. Again, the TikTok doesn't have that, right? And neither does YouTube. So I'll cut this here. I'm alt clicking and bringing that over. I can do right like this. Okay, so this is a little bit more, you know, engaging, Personally, I feel like that this text is not popping out as much as I like it to be. It's just kind of showing up on the screen, which isn't bad, You can add a little bit of flair, and this is something I wanted to show you guys. And we're going to start using something called keyframes. Let's just call it keyframes. So you can go in here into the text, and if you don't know about this feature, it's very cool. It's these little white diamonds, okay, next to all these different parameters in the inspector. So you can go into video. So let's say this is the size that we want to have it at, 1.28. That looks good. So what I would do is actually you click on this keyframe, okay, and make sure that your selector is at the beginning of the edit. Click on the keyframe, and then we're gonna make this a little bit smaller, okay? And now I'm gonna use my keyboard and go forward like 1 or 2 frames. 1, 2, I think 2 is enough. And our keyframe thingy is still active, okay? So once you start moving the zoom and changing things, you're gonna see that the keyframe gets activated and goes red. So now we can go to back to our 0.28. And now if we play it back, it kind of pops up on the screen. Okay, so unfortunately you can't copy paste those settings from subtitle to subtitle. So what you're going to do is you have to copy the entire text or the text track. So I alt left click and drag, and now all those keyframes are in there. I just got to retype. Oh, it's a belly bolt. So let's delete all of this and just redo this. That's the new, and then I say right. Now let's watch this back. To me personally, I find that this pops a little bit more.
Belly bolt. That's the new Pokemon, right? Let's catch it.
And it's kind of a subtle difference. It's a slight difference, but it kind of like shooting up onto the screen. It adds a little bit of that action, a little bit of that movement, and I find it looks a little bit better, right? So I started my keyframe here. I went down to 0.9. I mean, you might be at zoom 1. Because you like the font size there. I don't know. I was messing with, I guess, the sizing from zoom. Bring it down to 0.7 or 0.75. And then 2 video frames over, bring it up to your 1.0 zoom. Okay. And hopefully that works for you guys. And it's a little bit of time. There's no automatic way to do this in DaVinci. You got to do it manually yourself. What's also cool about DaVinci Resolve is that you could change the color of certain words without actually having to split up your text track into multiple tracks. So watch this. So let's say you have it's a belly bolt here and you want to make this really stand out. You can highlight this and change the color of just that specific word. So let's say you really want it to pop out. Let's make it a bright red. Gross. Blue. What color is belly bolt? He's like this teal. That's cool. So you can do this. And now as you watch it back,
it's a belly bolt. That's the new Pokemon, right?
That kind of just emphasizes special words, whatever. Let's say you want to do the karaoke. What I did was I copied this track, layered it on top of itself, the entire thing go yellow. You can use the cropping with the keyframes. So watch this. If I crop to the right, boom, this is super cool. So watch this. Start here. You start your keyframe with the yellow on the first word. Okay, you keyframe this. It's keyframe. Bring the cropping back over the A. I said A. It's hard to hear it, but I did say it. Keyframe again, and then now you bring it over the belly bolt. And watch this.
Oh, it's a belly bolt.
Hard to see. It goes. I talk really fast there, but you get the idea. Here, let's do it again with that's the new Pokemon. I copied the clip over. I changed the color to yellow, and let's go back to video. Crop right. Let's bring that all the way back here to that's. So here, say that's here. Let's bring this back over. I said new, I think. New is here. Let's get this yellow. And here I said Pokemon. And boom. So as long as your keyframe is red here, this little diamond, you're good to go. So let's watch this back.
Oh, it's a belly bolt. That's the new Pokemon, right? Let's catch it.
So what this is actually doing is that every single frame, it's actually sliding like the karaoke way. It's actually sliding over. See how it doesn't completely get the So maybe this is also, again, a artistic thing, a creative thing that you want. Look at this. This whole Pokemon, it's like karaoke. And there you go. You're done. So this is the best way that I would suggest to do it. It could help you if there's really something of value that you really want to emphasize, a special word or a special sentence, maybe like it's a belly bolt. It could be cool to have it really emphasized. But from my experience, there's already so much going on. You're going to have music, you're going to have text on screen, you're going to have the subtitles, you're going to have your camera, or your VTuber or your picture, and already stuff happening in the game or on your screen that, to be honest, there's a lot going on, right? If it was just you talking, then maybe there I would use some text with some colors and I think it would pop up more. Having those subtitles actually does help you to have something to look at. That could help you guys with your TikToks if you're noticing a drop off with engagement or a view time. So again, if you're using TikTok, you don't really need the subtitles, but if you're going to be posting on YouTube Shorts, I highly recommend, even on Instagram Reels or Twitter, putting the subtitles is going to go a long way. So that's pretty much it, guys, for editing here in DaVinci Resolve. I hope I helped you. I gave you guys some keyboard commands. I gave you guys some tips and tricks on creating a template, on setting up your video so that you can then copy paste it over into the next clip that you have. So it could be much easier for you to edit. You don't have to go through all those different effects and inspector settings. I showed you guys how to clip things down. I'll give you guys some tips and tricks on how to edit a little bit better for better engagement and view time. And also showed you guys how to do subtitles if you want to have them pop out, and if you want to color code them too, which could be fun and a little bit more visually interesting. If you guys have any questions about DaVinci or editing in general, leave them in the comments below, or come into one of my streams, or even come into our Discord, which is made for streamers, and ask me questions, and I'd be very, very happy to help you guys out. If this video helped you, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and good luck on your journey, and I will see you guys in the next one.